That went weird. How you doing, Jason?
What up?
Hey, everybody! Welcome to another Age of Grogu. I've got with me Jason right now. Max will be joining us a little later. He's got work right now, so he should be back soon. How's it going, Jason? What's been up in your week? Anything interesting? Any new shows or movies or anything?
I made it to episode 320 on One Piece.
Are you kidding me? Oh my god! I started watching the first two episodes last week after watching the TV series. So I was watching the first two anime shows. Clear that up.
It's
Um,
really old anime, I'm realizing. I mean, it was started
yeah,
2000, it started in 99.
yeah. It's
So,
definitely
yeah.
not.
I've reached a point where like the
Hey, how's it going?
quality what up? I've reached a part where
Yep.
the quality's starting to change, like the
Oh,
aspect
okay.
ratio has changed
Oh,
at the
really?
point I'm
Okay.
at.
Well,
Because like if you're watching it on Netflix,
hmm
they don't change the they close in on like
yeah.
because the aspect ratio was regular TV then.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So they zoom in and you get like top and bottom pretty much
Right.
or yeah, top and bottom like
Yeah.
cropped a little
So
bit.
I didn't check the date on the TV show, the animated series, but is that at least 20 years old, or was it long older than that?
Yeah, it's 20 it's over
Like
20 years old
over
now
20 years
at this
old,
point
yeah.
because it started airing in 99.
Okay, all right. I mean, I really much to say it, back there again. I enjoyed the live action series immensely.
Yeah,
I've
it's
got
good.
through all eight episodes, and
Nice.
I
What do you
was doing it
think?
over a slow
Good
watch.
stuff?
Really, really good stuff. I emotionally got attached to these characters. I mean, they gave some real depth and emotion to these characters, which really, beyond anything, shocked me. I think it
Yeah.
is the best live action adaptation from animation to live action I think I've ever seen,
Hmm.
and that's again it surprised me, especially since it's a show that I normally would never have watched in animation, and I mean pirates are fun, that sort of stuff, but I think it's just compelling characters that the live action show managed to pull out of the actors. The cast are amazing.
Yeah, but that is the foundation of the anime
Hmm.
because it shows that like just the story of the anime can transcend into like a different
Right.
medium and still
Yeah.
capture audiences.
Sure.
But that is like the main point of the anime. It's like
Yeah.
you can watch it for the action, it's all right, but
Hmm.
the biggest thing is the characters and like their backstories.
Yeah.
So like
I mean,
each
you
each
would.
character has like this backstory, right? And then every
Right.
time they introduce like a new character,
Yeah.
it's like each backstory is like so tragic and like
Yeah.
traumatizing and so emotional. It's
Right.
crazy.
Yeah, no, it really is. I think I asked you before, but with the idea of the One Piece, they're never going to find this lost treasure, are they? It doesn't sound like it. I'm really at the beginning,
It's
and it feels
it's
like if
the
they're a
end of
thousand episodes in the animation and they haven't found it yet, it's like,
it's the
I
end
guess it's
goal, but
it's
then
the end goal.
it's
Yeah.
the
It's
journey.
the
Yeah.
journey. Yeah, fair enough. I got that. I got that.
And so like
Either
yeah,
way,
it's just like them affecting this world and like
yeah,
this like
yeah.
it gives them that focus on like
Hmm.
a destination to go through, but then everything that happens in between is
Yeah. I mean, just judging from the very first two animated shows episodes of watching only just the first two, and I don't know how far I'll really go into it, but it seems like they really nailed everything of the live action in the first beginning episodes of what the animated show was all about. Because
yeah.
it seemed like it set the exact same tone, almost word for word in some cases, which was fine. I mean, it worked.
I mean, yeah, it is the source material, so
Yeah,
they
absolutely,
they
totally.
pick and they pick
Yeah,
the stuff that kind of
yeah,
they nail the just the overall vibe,
yeah.
and they manage to like
Some of the characters just outright weird. I meant I forgot the son's name. The one the one the uh, the one with the weird haircut that eventually is given to him in the uh, what's it
which one?
the pompous one, the pompous he's one of the military guys, the cadet,
Oh,
uh,
oh yeah,
yeah,
huh?
yeah. Uh,
Yeah, he's a weird character.
Yeah, yeah. Just, but anyway. Enough about that. That's kind of cool. I ended up by watching the creator, and
Oh yeah,
Max caught it as well. I wait till Max gets in, and we can do a bit of a talk through about it. I enjoyed it. I think as breaking it down with keeping it in a non-spoilery kind of way. Gareth Edwards' style of filmmaking was a little all over the place with the pacing of the film, because it would suddenly be going at really fast speed and then it would slow right down, it would speed up again, and then suddenly the last 20 minutes it was all happening one after the other, and it's like, well, I'm trying to get this idea of time frame because things are moving at a weird rate, and I can't keep track of the pacing of how
What would it slow
quickly or
down
how
for?
slow. It slowed down surprisingly for a lot of the action sequences, but it's sped up during the talking and the dialogue pieces in the exposition. It was like things were moving at a faster pace with exposition, and they were going at a slower pace with fight sequences, and it did drag out in a few areas, I found,
Mm.
because of that. And so it was just a weird pacing kind of film. But visually incredible. He spent like 20 million, if $80 million on the film is what he spent, and it looks as good as any $200 million feature film. And I did read that what Gareth Edwards does in the film is that he makes sure that his foreground 20 feet to 40 feet, is as much real related product as possible, real sets, real location, real actors. And then beyond that is all the CG, so he doesn't have to put the focus of attention to detail in foreground CG. That can be all background, and it doesn't necessarily have to read or be slightly out of focus or out of
Yeah.
frame or whatever. And I thought that was kind of an interesting creative way to make a low budget movie. He also used a small, tiny camera, which is a little grainy
Hmm.
as such, but he could use it himself to move around rather than a good quality camera. And it kind of showed in some scenes. And other scenes, it was a little dark visually. It was a lot of nighttime sequences,
Hmm.
and it wasn't necessarily need to be, but it was beautifully shot. There was some nice imagery. There's some nice cool things. There was a lot of practical stuff. It looked like a lot of the robots and the androids that they had created were all hands-on practical, and it was people with a headpiece on, and then animatronic, eyes and head movement, and
Yeah.
then I'm guessing green screen parts of mechanical arms. A similar way they did. I don't know if you know in the Mandalorian season 2, when we saw the Death Trooper droids before they meet up with Luke Skywalker. Those were
Hmm.
people in the costumes. Those weren't CGI and they weren't robots. They were people in movement in costumes,
But then
uh,
they kind of went in with post and kind of
and they
changed
removed,
some stuff. Yeah.
they removed, yeah, mechanical. They removed the green
That's the
screen parts on
best.
the arms. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the best
but it
way to.
works.
That's the best method because you get like a good reference point on like what the material should look like for when you do.
Yeah, yeah. This girl was incredible. Like, she cried on cue, and you felt the tears from it. I didn't get terribly emotional throughout the film, but when this kid was like having an emotional moment, it was very powerful. The kid was an amazing little actress. She was. I
That's cool.
don't know her name. She's kind of new to the film world, it seems, and she was probably only about 8 or 9.
Hmm.
But she was incredible. It was a good
Yeah.
cast. Yeah.
But back to what the use of practicals. Have you
Sorry.
watched? Have you watched Mother on Netflix?
I haven't. No, no.
Oh, because like that was a mostly practical
Okay.
costume, but then like
Right.
like they go in and change some
Yeah.
stuff up. Like I
Yeah.
think that's like the one of the best methods that they've come up in
Hmm.
recent cinema history.
Yeah.
It's a long step away from what like Attack of the Clones, for instance,
Sure. Oh yeah,
where that
where it's
was
all
like
CGI
just
and yeah.
straight green screen
Hmm.
and like no
Yeah.
reference point for
Yeah.
any of the CG. But
Yeah.
I think CG has gotten a lot better at this
Of
point
course.
because it's uh, they've learned that the requirement of a lot of practical stuff
Yeah.
on set will
Yeah.
help with like the VFX reference point on like materials and how to recreate something on CG and like match the
Right.
lighting and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I think these methods are really good.
Yeah. No,
But yeah,
I
like
agree.
I think it does require like a portion of it to be practical for them to nail it and make it look a lot more real.
Yeah, well, again, that's what happened. They did all the robots in the creator, and there was a lot of practical stuff. And if they did enhance little things, it was just tiny little
Yeah.
motions or additional cables, and they removed sections of
But
human
at
arm
least like
as
the you know like the lighting is right on it because they have a
right.
reference point to work off
Totally.
of
Oh,
when
sure.
there's a
Yeah.
practical thing on camera.
Yeah. Yeah. It
So then it
reads
just
so much
makes it
better.
look even more realer. That's nice.
Yeah, but I mean, as a film goes, it's worth checking out. Especially, I mean, it would be your kind of movie. Hang on a second. How you doing, Max?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, we're just talking about the creator. You and I, you saw it. I saw it. Give your thoughts on it.
Spoilers or non-spoilers?
I
Not
haven't I
yeah, not
haven't seen it yet.
yeah,
So.
Okay, okay.
non spoilers. Just about the process, what the film felt
It
like when it
looked
was.
great.
Yeah,
It felt great at times.
yeah.
A lot of it doesn't really make sense when you overanalyze it, and they
Hmm.
lose their point halfway across. That's
Okay.
my,
Yeah,
without spoiling it, I just think,
yeah.
the movie starts with like a heavy thesis, and then it
Hmm.
quickly it's like, yeah, we're going to forget about that. And then not elaborate.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a couple of interesting things. Well, I pointed out to Jason just before in the audience. I was saying that the the film sped up during dialogue scenes. In other words, they were rushing. Sorry, yeah, they were trying to pace through and get through dialogue scenes quickly, but fight sequences and battle sequences dragged on a little bit. I found in
Yeah.
areas. And then at the end, the entire end 20 minutes just sped up so quickly that you just couldn't keep track as to how long of a time period it was between little events as they were getting from place to place. And
Well, I
it
mean,
felt
they,
very
there's,
rushed
there's
at the end.
there's so many characters in the movie. There were
There
so
is.
many characters, and they
Yeah.
want all of them to try and feel important at moments. And they're like,
Sure.
oh, he could be an antagonist, or he couldn't be. Oh,
Right.
she could be an antagonist, or she couldn't
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not even like a mystery where it's like who's helping, who's hurting. It's more of just like
Yeah.
they're setting up characters for nothing.
Yeah. There is a kind of a semi-moral to the film, a moral kind of an observation. I don't know if I'd call it spoilery, but I can mention if you want me to, Jason. It's up to you because it's your
Oh,
call.
sure.
The film takes the stance of humans are the ones that fear the AI the most, even though they created it. And so they are the ones who screw up and mess up when it comes to what they were designed for. So we're not talking about Terminator kind of AI elements to this, where it's like it wants to take over the world. But mankind created it, and then mankind suddenly feared that that's what would happen. And so
And
really,
just created their own destiny.
they created it, yeah, but they also
Yeah.
mankind kind of created it. There was a couple of really.
Well, that
good
was my
lines in
problem
the
with the
film.
movie. It
Yeah.
was a very eighth grade, high school
Yeah.
philosophical. Humans are bad, right? Kind of
Yeah, yeah.
kind of thing. Which
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't make the
It's kind
movie
of a-
bad, but
It's kind of a trope these days.
sure, yeah,
yeah, it's just kind of an overdone trope of just like, well, what if it was the humans that were bad guys? It's
Yeah.
like,
What's
I
it an
mean,
allegory for any like religion or anything like that? Like
Yeah.
what-
no, I feel like they kept religion pretty much out of it. It was
Okay.
largely about humanity as a whole and humans'
yeah,
current moral compass and how it divides us.
yeah, yeah.
The
AI,
human element that fucks everything up.
yeah,
much.
AI is definitely
Yeah.
here. AI is definitely here to stay. It is really a matter of right now making sure that it doesn't impact our jobs and our careers.
But that's what the movie kind of ignores. I will say
It
that's
does.
what the
It
movie
does.
definitely
It doesn't.
ignores.
It doesn't. It doesn't go into that at all. But it.
That's why I said it
Yeah.
kind of lost your thesis halfway through,
Right.
because it's like
Sure.
they don't actually go into what the fears are.
Mm-hmm.
Really, they just kind of
Well,
vague.
They kind of do. I mean, the
Well,
whole
most-
military,
yeah, besides-
the military,
well,
the American military aspect of it is your
Well, yes,
fear
that
mongering
makes
at
sense.
its greatest.
But I mean,
and
like they don't
that's
go over like how AI would impact average people's lives in the movie.
You mean like
well, it
capitalism?
kind of does on the other side, though.
On the other side, sure,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's like they don't really go over
yeah.
like the capitalistic
Sure.
aspects of it.
Yeah, but it goes back to man
Is
creates
this like a
something,
post-capitalist world or something? Like
something
what is
No,
happens, and
very much not.
yeah.
Okay.
Something happens. Mankind screws something up, and they want to blame something or some And again, I can't go into too much detail because it is a interesting reveal as to how events took place to be where they're at this point in time. And there were things that worked, and there were things that were like, okay,
I
that's
liked it
fair enough.
overall.
Oh well, yeah, I
watching it.
definitely liked it overall. It was definitely worth watching. And yeah, Jason, you'll get a kick out of some of the robot stuff. There was some incredible practical robot stuff in there.
Oh, the effects looked awesome.
Yeah,
It was like I don't know why though. It did feel like a sequel to iRobot at times.
yeah, I guess so. I mean, to a certain degree. I haven't seen that film in so long. What are the thoughts, Max? Anything else you can think of?
The music was really cool in the movie, actually.
It was Hans Zimmer. Yeah, he does
Yeah.
stuff. I didn't find any of it terribly memorable for some reason, but yeah. I mean, I thought it was a great cast. The little girl was amazing. She was incredible.
She was great. I'm not the biggest fan of the lead. I'm trying to remember his name.
Yeah,
He was just a little
Yeah.
stale at sometimes, but I feel like it could have
Yeah, I
been
guess
the
so.
dialogue that was a little nonsensical.
Yeah. Do we think there would be a sequel?
I think they'll probably do a
And-
prequel.
Yeah, a prequel more likely. I'd like to see some other events. I'd like to see things from America's point of view before things go south.
I will say that the movie did feel like one big video game in the way that it
Really?
was constructed. Yeah, it's very much video game kind of pacing where it's like
Really?
you
I
drop
didn't
into a
pick that.
situation,
Yeah.
then you learn the character's backstory, and then everything
Okay.
goes haywire. It's like a very
Oh,
much
I
like a
guess so.
video
The,
game.
the
pacing.
guess so.
action drags.
I don't know enough video game game stories like that. So it's like yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's it. It was the
It
action.
reminded me of
drag.
Last of Us.
But you're right. Yeah, Jason, that's correct. As I said before, the action is what was slow and moving. Even though there was a lot happening, it was still took a while for the action to pace itself out. It could have gone a little quicker and moved the story and the plot along a little faster. But there were moments in the action sequences that. Oh, I didn't realize. Is that Denzel?
Oh, it was
Washington's son?
Denzel's.
I didn't
That's
know that.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. Okay. Yeah.
The protagonist.
Yeah. Either way, it was worth checking if you get the chance. It was pretty incredible for an $80 million film and pretty low budget. It definitely felt like a $200 million movie, and yeah. But at the same time, it's like not my favorite film of the year, but I'm so glad I got the chance to see it. I managed to get a beautiful poster. I've actually got an extra poster for you there, Max. I pulled.
Oh, really? They
so,
gave you multiple?
I managed to
That's
get some
dope.
from another theater, so I was like,
Oh, awesome.
yeah. So I've got you a poster there, and Jason.
Thank
got
you,
one too.
dude.
I've pulled some beautiful artwork.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, what else? What else is going on with you, Max? What have you been up to?
I released a comic on my Substack this week. I released issue 3.
Yep.
Yeah. So head on over there, check it out. It's
Yeah.
kind of a spicy issue. Things kind of heat up for a sec,
Third
and everything
issue.
kind of. Yeah. This is the issue
Spoilers,
that kinda-
Brent.
Well,
Spoilers.
no, that's
Oh,
why I'm
this
going
is
through it.
this
That's
is
why I'm
in,
going
this
through
is
it
in the
quickly.
preview. This is all.
Oh, okay.
Not so spoilery.
Yeah.
You're just scrolling through it.
That's all right. Well,
Read
I was
it
doing
yet.
it. I was doing it fast enough that nobody could actually see, but it's worth checking out. The link is below, and yeah, check out.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
episode 3.
And I'm also going to be at Comics and Cocktails in Canoga Park, California this weekend.
It's this weekend.
October
Sweet.
8th. Yeah. It's
Oh,
going to be a
nice.
fun time.
Yeah,
Some
cool.
Marvel artists going to be there, some DC people. It's going to be cool.
Cool. I will go check it out because I actually, as far as I know at the moment, have a free weekend. So, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah. What else is there? What else is going on? Oh, that's the one thing I've been playing around with, guys. So I basically, I've been working a lot recently, and I've just had the last couple of days to kind of vent and relax and all that. I'm actually working on my 12-inch scale collection of my Clone Wars section is getting bigger. And now I'm going to start doing a massive display for the Battle of Christopsis from the Clone Wars animated series. So I'm actually working on this tiled floor. But then I'm also going to be doing, like you can see back there, like half crashed, vehicles and stuff like that. I'm going to be doing a half crashed TE Walker leg. So I'm in this process of actually 3D
Oh, you're
designing
building
it.
it.
I'm actually building it in scale to 12 inch, which is about 15 inches long. So this whole thing. And so I started 3D printing the parts just now. So this is that's the 12-inch figure, and that's the scale.
That's cool.
So that's what I'm working on right now. I'm just kind of just playing around. So I'm actually recording and documenting everything. So as I go through and build this entire thing, I'll drop a video eventually when I finish it up, but I'm going to be building an entire leg. If I had to build the entire walker, it's about 12 feet long. So it's like I'm just building a partial broken down leg. I want to have a couple of clone troopers sitting there over the leg shooting and using it as cover.
You have someone stuck under the leg.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not gonna. Well, maybe a battle droid or something like that. But
you just got to make the feet of a clone trooper,
just sticking out.
Just sticking out.
Thanks. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. So that's my next video, is building this little miniature model display. While I've got a free week ahead of me, kind of thing. So it'll take some time. I'll probably do it over a period of, I don't know. I'll see. However long it takes, kind of thing. But yeah. So what else has been used this week in the news? I haven't noticed terribly too much. In fact,
there's some secret news this week. There's Marvel has been accepting talking to writers and accepting pitches for the new X-Men.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And reportedly, they're aiming for a reboot without Wolverine as the lead, which makes me think they're going to do original 5.
Okay, which is
Angel, Iceman, Beast, Cyclops, and Jean Grey.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. And no Professor X?
Oh no, he's a leader. Professor X.
The leader.
Yeah,
okay.
he's always a leader. Okay. But I think it'd be very important to have an original 5 X-Men on team together in a movie, because they're what started it all. And it's as X-Men developed, you get to see why Xavier chose those mutants specifically.
Okay.
And it's just, I think it's important to have those as the first mutants, and I think that's just cool.
Yeah. Well, Anchorman, if you go back to the beginning, she wouldn't be dead. She dies eventually, I guess, but
she dies a bunch. Yeah, but right now she is dead. Where is it? She's dead, but she's getting better.
She's dead in the current world. Okay, all right. She's
dead. She is dead. She is dead. She's getting better though. We'll see what happens.
Right. Okay.
She famously dies a lot.
I'm sure she does. Yeah.
Her first line in the first issue of that comic was, "I died, but that's nothing new to me."
Okay. Oh, that's funny.
So reached a level of self-awareness.
That is funny. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. What other? Loki starts next week, next Friday. That's some kind of fun stuff. Basically they dropped a brand new trailer for the Marvels on the theaters. Did you see the trailer at all, Max? Or?
I did not actually.
Okay.
Oh, was it the one at the Creator actually?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see it then. Yeah.
It's kind of like got additional scenes and stuff like that.
I'm not against that movie. I just think they're putting too much on Carol. Carol has never been the one to explore the galaxy the same way the other Marvels have.
Really?
Carol's galaxy explorations have been a little bit different.
And she's been gone for like 20 years, right?
That's what I mean. They're putting so much on her to be like this guardian watchdog.
Right.
And that's a very recent development for her. I think, I don't know. I think they're just forcing so much cosmic stuff when I think they should just let Carol Danvers be Carol Danvers.
Yeah.
I'm still looking forward to the movie.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but again, it's like I mean the buzz, the hype behind a Marvel film is just not there anymore. So I'm gonna go check it out the same way I've checked out all the other Marvel films, but I'm going in with lower expectations than I normally would before, kind of thing. So, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, this is that's how it's been post Endgame Marvel.
It really
anyways,
has.
right?
Yeah, no, it
You
really
think
has.
Deadpool would be the one to change it?
No, I think that they're stuck in this kind of mediocre position. People have lost that faith, and
That's why I
it's
think
the
multiverse
same.
was a bad idea.
Yeah. Well,
It's
but the
just
Well,
faith.
if they're gonna do it, do something with it,
Right.
well,
Instead
Yeah.
yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean, there's only so much you could do with it in 10 projects
Yeah.
before you're retreading the same multiversal ground. And
Hmm.
I think they've retread a lot of ground pretty quickly already,
Yeah.
with
They just.
nostalgia and
they're
fan
just
casting.
realizing their boundaries, and like they've hit a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's only so
Yeah.
much you could do with like A-list actors and movie
Yeah.
runtimes
Yes.
that
Yeah.
you can't really successfully do like really engaging stories, especially when it comes to like multiverse stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
With
haven't
that
you
type of
expected
stuff, right?
like one of
Yeah.
those movies to break into like an animation sequence or something like that?
Right.
Or do something like visually like astounding with the multiverse?
Yeah, I think yeah, and
Not a fan.
it's one of those
Yeah.
things that like it became too big for its own good.
Hmm.
Where they have to be more careful and they can't really.
Yeah.
There's no room for experimentation because
Yeah.
of how big it is and how big of a tentpole it is for media.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's
I
like a
thought the
lot of stuff
Flash
going
movie,
against it.
the Flash, well, it's not a Marvel movie. The Flash movie had the biggest example of why these multiversal projects don't work with Bruce
Mm.
Wayne's spaghetti scene. It was
Right.
just a scene that you didn't want to watch in a movie you've seen a bunch of times. And it's like you want to see this character doing anything else than explaining the multiverse through spaghetti. And I mean, it's just the problem with all of these movies is they always have to be that.
It's like that time travel with straws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, even in the earlier stuff, there was depth to character. There was enough depth to characters to keep you invested and emotionally connected. And the depth to the characters now is so thin and
Yeah.
so loose that I mean, you're dealing with someone like Miss Marvel, and I'm more invested in Kamala, the younger kid, and Rambo.
Maria Rambo.
Yeah, Rambo. I'm more
Well, it's 'cause
invested in those
we
two
had
because I
two-
did enjoy those characters when they were introduced.
Well, it's because
And
we had like TV shows to like that's a lot of runtime compared to Carol Danvers like introduction.
Well, I think they
Yeah,
also
but-
they sending Carol Danvers away made it so she couldn't really have the same kind of relationship with any characters. And when you have characters who don't really know her, and you don't have scenes where she's opening up as much, and she's always just kind of being the cool person in the room instead of the person you're hearing expunge her feelings. Which
and the fact that she's so powerful that she's so powerful that you can only do so much with that kind of a character in a event, in my opinion.
I have no problem with her power level. I just think she should be opening up and wearing her heart on her sleeve more. I mean, I just think, yeah, she can't be the stoic, cool person forever.
Yeah. We just haven't allowed enough like I said, runtime for her to establish any type of depth in her character. We had like one movie and she's appeared like twice.
Yeah.
Right.
And in her movie, she lost her memory for most of it. So we didn't really get to experience who she was and her full personality until the last few minutes of the movie.
A lot of their focus was just trying to like find a reason why she's been absent. And that was like basically the point of her movie.
Yeah.
And like she comes back to like she's nothing more than like a Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases. And that's about it.
Yeah.
That's why the Marvels could be good for her, though. I mean, there's two characters out of those three characters.
That could be her arc, possibly. Giving
I
it
think
the
it will
benefit of
be.
doubt of like she is so like what you were explaining that her character is. Maybe she'll be more grounded. Maybe it gives her character room to develop. I guess.
But recently, a lot of the Marvel trailers are exactly what the film ends up by being. And right now, I'm afraid we're seeing the entire movie through the trailer. Three characters who have joined, powers interlinked, and they have to learn to work with each other to get through and save the day. In this latest trailer, they did introduce the main female adversary, and I forgot her name, the character.
It's Darben.
Darben. I don't know who she is.
Is it online? Can we watch it right now?
Probably.
I do want to point out, I called it that those were the Negabands in like episode 2 of Ms. Marvel.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull up the trailer. Because I forgot. Yeah, as I said, the trailer only just dropped this week as a new one, but it went straight to the theaters.
I'm sure it should be on YouTube.
Yeah, give me half a second. All right, 1 second. Showing me the old ones. A month ago. I'm not having any.
I don't know if it was posted online yet.
Yeah, I don't know if it has been posted online. That's
weird.
Oh no, hang on. Here it is. All right, I think I found it.
You should watch it first.
Yeah, let me just make sure. Oh no, it's a it's a breakdown
fan made
review.
It's
a breakdown review. No, it doesn't look like. I can't find it online right now, which is weird. Yeah. No, it's
not the final. Is it? It's
no,
not the final trailer, huh?
It probably would be the final trailer. Let me write that down. Yeah. They didn't show too much more.
Because I found one that has a goose in it right at the beginning.
Yeah. No. Okay. I'm not finding it up front and center. It's like, yeah, everything.
I do think it's gonna be another uphill battle with villains in this movie, where it's like, it's just their cosmic villains are either way too high scale or not high enough stakes.
Yeah.
And I think Darben is a cool villain, but I don't think it's going to be a memorable villain for people.
Hello there.
In the MCU.
Again, it doesn't look like they've dropped that particular trailer because it only just came out this week, last couple of days kind of thing. So, which is weird. Usually they drop it all over the place, but it doesn't show a lot of new stuff, but it just kind of introduces who the villain is, I guess. And again, without having any context as to who she is and what she is in the universe, I guess we'll find out. But she's
a Kree accuser.
Okay.
Another.
Okay, that explains that. Yeah.
Another Ronin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why she's got the same Ronin hammer. I'm trying to remember what the hammer is called.
Really?
It's got a name.
Right.
I can't remember what it's called.
Every cosmic weapon has a name.
Yeah, go figure.
That's why they should bring in the cosmic rod.
Yeah, and you've seen the Aquaman trailer, right?
I saw the Aquaman trailer.
Yeah. It looks like they just said, "Oh well, let's not spend any money here," and do a really loose CGI. And
it looks like they didn't have a script either. It looks like they just have Jason Momoa wandering through, and they're like, "All right, Jason, use some of that charisma." And he was like, "But I don't know the character." And they're like, "It doesn't matter."
Something went down with this film badly, and there's a lot of things that are going on. So I guess
it seems like Jason Momoa took full reign.
Okay, wait. I gotta say this. I don't watch. I'm not a huge scary movie fan. There's not much to me, but I did see Saw X. With some
did?
Yeah, I know. Good,
right?
Good
yeah,
God. Shock and surprise. I forgot.
When I went to go see that, I was like, wait, what? You
can
watch? You like Saw movies, huh?
No, I've never seen. Well, actually, correction. All right.
That's an interesting first Saw movie to see.
I have another group of friends that we usually will go to see movies and stuff like that. And I saw the last Saw film, number 9, and it was terrible. It was goddamn awful. And Chris Rock was in it, and had no interest in seeing it, but it just was not compelling. It was badly written. It was badly paced. It was even poorly acted in places. So
that was Chris Rock's passion project.
Yeah, and so I was not exactly hyped to go see Saw number 10 with the same group of friends. And I saw it, and it was really good. And it was good because it had some depth to this character. Obviously, they took a earlier time frame to the Saw franchise. I think it's supposed to be between 2 and 3, from what I understand, from what I was told. So
before Donnie Donnie Wahlberg. Right before the Donnie Wahlberg one.
I guess I don't know who is that.
He's the brother of Mark Wahlberg.
He was the detective in like the second.
The detective. That's it. Yeah. Okay. All right. The detective. Okay. All right.
Oh, so he's in it.
Oh, spoilers. No, not really. No, he's not in it. I don't know who half the characters are, so I really don't know. But it had a really good, solid kind of investing element to the villain. And you're following along on a journey that this villain is taking as he is trying to heal or trying to find some sort of, solace in his world. And it actually really worked as a film. It worked. The acting was good. The visuals, the effects, the makeup were very well done. Still not enough to cringe me out of my seat. I didn't cringe at pretty much anything. Horror films don't do that for me. But as a film, it was a solid film. I'd say it was worth checking out if you're into.
Have you ever cringed at a horror film before?
I will cringe, not cringe, but I will get tense and like grip the seat, usually on a psychological thriller over a horror.
Like what? Like which?
Oh, I mean,
like a movie. What was the last horror film that you cringed at or gripped your seat?
Grip my seat. I mean, it may not even have been horror. That's the thing. It's like I get more intensely involved in a film when I honestly can't remember.
Answer the damn question.
Well, I don't remember the.
Max, do you have a favorite horror movie?
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh man, that's such a hard question. I'm not a big horror guy.
The Scream movies are great. Like those are.
That's the thing. I love this. I love those kinds of horror movies.
Scream sequel.
Like, I do like a lot of slashers. But satirical slashers are so much better.
Yeah.
I think that's the element that you're missing, because like an honest slasher was only enjoyable like in the 80s and the 70s,
Yeah.
Like those were like the only thing you could. They're new to the scene. Like you gotta consider the context.
And the last one, like in 2013.
No.
It wasn't a bad slasher. It was like, all the tropes were there, but it kept it just fresh enough.
I've never seen.
It's the most recent Scream, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's in the last two.
Is Mandy a horror film?
Oh, that might be my favorite then. That one's great. That one's just awesome, insane, though.
Freaking awesome. But would that count as a horror film? I don't know what you'd like label that as. It's like whatever category Holy Mountain is in.
Well, either way, I would advise if you are a fan of the Saw films, or at least the earlier ones, from what I understand from other fans, this one is incredible, and it is very worthwhile done.
Well, see, I remember when Saw was brand new, that was such a fresh take to like a psychological thrillers.
Yeah.
It's become like a cliche these days, and it's become parodied.
Yeah. Well, that's why
what people forget is why it worked is it was small scale horror. It wasn't like end of the world monster. This guy can kill everything in his path.
Yeah.
It was this is scary for these people in this situation.
Correct. Yeah.
I think. Cabin in the Woods. Would that count?
That's a great one too. That's another satirical. That's also kind of
satirical. Yeah, satirical.
But that was kind of like what Scream was back in the 90s, because it did like they understood, and it was a world where horror existed and people had an understanding.
Well,
actually not much in that one because
that's the
you
only
had a
one where it's
list of the tropes, you know.
Yeah.
That one was a little too much comedy because there wasn't enough scary things that actually happened in that movie. There's a lot of build up to it, but none Scream at least tries to lean into it a little bit with the shock with the kills.
Right.
But Cabin in the Woods was just mostly satire. It was fun to watch. Still love that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, Saw X was.
It felt so fresh when it came out, though, and I remember that was one of those movies I would show everyone and be like, "But wait till the ending."
It was fresh. There's really nothing to compare to that.
Yeah.
Really, just like when Scream came out, it was really nothing to compare to that either. It was like the level of self-awareness. It was like when self-awareness
feeding the horror movie gods. That's such an original.
Yeah.
I like
that's why you need like these specific tropes. It gave reason for tropes that you see in horror movies,
right?
Because they're all kind of necessary for feeding and the sacrifice of these gods.
But what makes a new good horror film?
Context.
Every once in a while, we get a brand new horror film that has a really great kind of opening. You know, whether it was Paranormal Activity, that was something in the ghost realm.
Babadook was another recent one that was a cult phenomenon.
That was really good.
Yeah.
I couldn't sit through it. I don't know why. I fell asleep.
Yeah, but are they?
I'm sure it was excellent.
What made Babadook different was like it had all of the regular tropes of a horror movie, but it's how how you dealt with it, and it kind of worked as kind of an allegory as well. So I think it had some depth to it, and it was one of those where you just like think about afterwards, like, wow, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like spoilers, guys.
Right.
Spoilers. Babadook, like, have you seen Babadook?
I haven't.
You're probably not going to watch it. You don't like horror. Yeah. But anyways, like the way they deal with the monsters, they don't kill it. They just learn to live with it and kind of take care of it in the basement.
Gotcha.
And so it becomes this thing where you kind of just like, you know, with your own demons. You don't really
it was clever. It was definitely a clever movie.
Yeah, you learn to live and deal with and tame them in a way, but then they're still kind of dangerous. But that's what was special about Babadook. But like, Paranormal Activity, that was like done really cheap. Right. And they were able to like recreate it. So it was a capitalist dream.
I always thought Paranormal Activity was like what's that movie in the woods with the
Blair Witch Project?
It was like Blair Witch with money.
It's found. It's just like it was Blair Witch with digital cameras. It wasn't more. It was cheaper probably than making the Blair Witch, but like it was. They lock in the same genre of like found footage.
Right.
So that became like its whole that's its own genre as well, which kind of gives it this realism, you know, it kind of grounds it, especially if it's like, it introduces the whole analog horror and the concept that a lot of people are into.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they'll be the next
VHS.
The next big horror film will come along a couple of years from now, and there'll be something
like the Back Rooms. Is like Bobby titular analog horror.
But I mean, it's interesting to. I mean, the audiences still go. The horror is the cheapest genre to make a movie out of, especially starting off, you know, fresh.
But it's an interesting genre because there's so many different takes on it. What was that one Skidamarink that got released recently that a lot of people were talking about? That is like peak analog horror, but it was made by this director, and it was like $3,000 or something to make. It was relatively really cheap, but he started with like 5-minute horror clips on a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But this was his first full length feature film. Mm-hmm. But a lot of it was just like camcorder shots, and he just like kind of sit there, and it's like have a shot. Brent, you might think it's like too slow. You'd probably find it excruciating in the sense of pacing.
All right, so there was no panning left or panning
right.
But
what it tapped into, and from like I haven't watched it myself, but I had friends who like talked about it. But what it tapped into was that kind of fear that you had as a child when you'd like when your closet
psychological.
When your closet door would be open.
Welcome to Tomorrowland.
Right, guys, let me talk. Jesus Christ. But like when you're a child and you're trying to go to sleep, and your closet door is open, and that nothingness that you see inside there, that is kind of like what he's channeled throughout this whole film.
Right.
Is that type of situation where you just lock on to like a nothingness, and then it's your own mind that would kind of like, wait, is there a face right there? Do I see a face? And so you're kind of just like, he traps you, so you're stuck with your own mind kind of processing these moments.
Gotcha.
But he creates this like situation where you're allowed to do that, in this like quick pace media world that we live in. He kind of like brings you into this movie and traps you into these like long stretched out shots that kind of tap into that childhood fear that you've created yourself. But I mean, that's an interesting take on like just the genre itself. I don't know where you could really expand on that. You kind of killed it with that movie. But
well, have you seen Welcome to Tomorrowland?
Welcome to
I think that's what it's called. It's like a movie shot at Disney World, like kind of illegally. It was a horror movie shot at.
I've heard about it.
Yeah, it's really creepy.
So is that like analog horror as well, like camcorder?
Kind of, not really. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. I don't really remember it, but it leans into a lot of childhood fears. So there's a large plot line about the father's infidelity, and it's really trying to lean into like things that would kind of scare a child, but it's all filmed inside of Disneyland using Disney's aesthetic in like a dark, twisted way. It's just...
Wait, what's it called?
I think Welcome to Tomorrowland is. Let me Google it.
We're getting this Tomorrowland. Brad Bird's Tomorrowland. Welcome to...
That was a horror film by itself. It really wasn't structurally good. Anyway,
Escape from Tomorrow.
Escape from okay.
That's what it's called.
Fair enough.
I always love the poster, though.
That's funny. That's funny. Anyway, I mean, enough about horror films. It is Halloween. I'm sure we'll bring up some more horror films during this month and stuff like that. I don't even know what other horror films are coming out this month, so I'm sure there'll be a few. But either way,
When I woke up today, Liz was watching Casper.
Oh, really? That's funny. God, I remember
it's like
that.
Such dated like CG, but like out other than that, it's you could tell a lot of like care was taken into this movie.
Yeah, wasn't Christina Ricci in that as well?
Yeah, it's Christina Ricci.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll be getting the Addams Family values up, all over the TV again this month.
You know, Casper is the dead body of Richie Rich.
Yeah, that's been like a right.
That
is the same artist, right?
Yeah.
Who made both of those?
I believe so.
It's the same body. It's like you could lay it over each other.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the same artist who drew that.
Yeah.
It's like Hanna-Barbera or something like that. Yeah, that's why he's in this mansion. He just haunts it.
Yeah.
It was like
I think we all know who killed him.
Yeah, you could like, because like someone needed, he would inherit all that money, but yeah. For sure. The butler was probably next in the will or something.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's move on to a bit of Star Wars news. Star Wars Visions, the episode I Am Your Mother won Best Animation in the Venice TV Awards. It's in,
the Aardman.
Cool, I haven't gone back to Visions. I need to rewatch it again. Season 2 definitely I enjoyed a lot more than Season 1. Story-wise and stuff like that, but it's making rounds, and
I like this. I hope they keep making more of these.
I hope so too. I'm pretty sure they're working on Season 3 or Series 3 as such. So we'll hopefully get that in the next year or two. It seems to be like a year and a half between drops and stuff like that. Ahsoka final episode has got a runtime of 46 minutes 25 seconds, so we now know how long the final episode's going to be, which is this week. We'll be doing a reaction video to it, of course. What did you guys think of this week's Ahsoka?
Oh, what happened?
Cool.
What happened?
Yeah.
And Ahsoka. It was a a bunch of fighting.
We started off with Hera and
3PO cameo.
3PO cameo.
It was nice to have
Anthony Daniels in the suit.
It was nice to have a 3PO cameo that actually served the story.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I like those are the best cameos, right? Like
totally.
when there's like actual reason for them to be there.
Yeah.
Other than an obligation,
Yeah. Anthony Daniels.
Was it in suit or just his voice?
And apparently he was in the suit.
Jesus,
Apparently,
man.
actually, you can tell because the neck is a little bit thicker than the earlier sculpts. Now he's not that he hasn't put on any weight.
They had to retrofit it.
I think they had to retrofit it because it's a very tight suit in general, and Anthony Daniels is definitely getting on in age. But
he's very protective over who's in the suit. He's very protective over. If there's an opportunity to be in that suit, he gets in there because he doesn't want. He wants to be 3PO forever. Like,
totally.
He doesn't want to do the voice. He wants to be the character.
Yeah, totally. And
that's cool.
But it's good that even at his age, he's actually able to keep on there. He did send out a tweet. Saying he never thought 3PO would have the honor of appearing rightly in Ahsoka. So we're both surprised to get a call from the master himself, Dave Filoni, and then there we were. Development by utterly compelling visual effects, the volume. So it's the first time it sounds like he's been in the volume, which is kind of cool. And then he just goes on and thanking the support of the fans
tweet,
and everything like that. Yeah, well, he's thanking the support of the fans and that everybody was so happy to see him, even for that brief little moment, kind of thing. So yeah, it was cool. It was 3PO, and yeah, you're right. It served the purpose of Leia, of Princess Leia not being, Carrie Fisher not being there and stuff like that. So even though it's a young,
but it's good to have Leia's involvement.
Yeah, I agree.
Isn't that crazy that these protocol droids are based on like Anthony Daniels like proportions? Yeah. All of them in the universe are based because Anthony Daniels is the way he is. Like the placement of the eyes. Because he looks like 3PO without the suit.
Yeah.
It's just like it's made for it. It's like a custom costume for this specific person.
Sure.
So then every protocol droid in the universe is just like Anthony Daniels' shape.
That's probably why he's so protective over the role, though, is because, it literally is him. He doesn't want someone else playing him as a robot. Because I imagine when he got the role, he just thought to himself, okay, how do I play a robot? And then, that transcended into becoming this thing that's larger than life. He doesn't want anyone else taking his idea of what this robot is away from him.
Right, yeah. I mean, Anthony Daniels was originally a mime as well, so that's the reason why he got the job was he could perform in
that body
suit.
shape.
He's got the body shape and very thin and lanky and all that too. So
good at pantomiming.
Yeah, and then we got this cool kind of opening sequence there of back in the Purgle kind of thing, and we also got a revamp of Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker, a hologram form.
Popping up as Jor-El in a Jor-El type of way.
Well, it's interesting that they haven't used him yet as Force Ghost Anakin. So,
I think we might get that at the
Force
end.
Ghost Anakin would just be in his robes. He wouldn't be wearing the Clone War outfit, So
correct, yeah. I mean, we'll see him like we saw him.
So this is nice to see him in
It's
a good excuse to see him in the Clone Wars outfit.
Oh, completely, yeah.
Give it that context, whether it's like a flashback or a recording that he made at the era.
Well, here's the recordings. I mean, we've seen them before in the both in Rebels, and we even saw I think we saw some recordings in. Maybe we didn't see recordings in Clone Wars. It might have been just Rebels. Where they introduced Anakin had pre-recorded these messages, but we did get information of there's 20 recordings of Anakin, so they've got the ability of doing different things in the future.
Yeah, there's a context for him to return. That's good.
Yeah, Anchorman, you're right. We got Ventress's name drop. Yeah, Sarge Ventress's name drop there, which was kind of cool. Here's something. Now I'm looking ahead. Now into what I'm going to assume will be season 2 or even the feature film. If we've got the Night Mothers coming back to our galaxy with Thrawn, if that does go in that direction, and it seems to be the direction they're going, because we've got all these coffins going on board, are we going to get resurrected Darth Maul? Are we going to get resurrected Asajj Ventress? Are we going to get resurrected Night
I don't
Sisters?
think Asajj canonically died.
Technically, she did. Yeah, the disciples killed her off in the book, and that is canon. Apparently.
Oh, that's only in the book, though. I mean, we
haven't ever seen her. yeah, live action.
Yeah, we haven't seen a live action. That's still technically Legends, I think, at this point.
No, Disciples is officially
Darth Maul's body and on Tatooine or something.
Tatooine too, exactly. Yeah, but if we do get a Night Sister army that raises the dead of anybody connected to Night Sister magic, then there's a very strong possibility that we might end up by seeing the return of Maul, the return of a live action version of the Sarge Ventress, even though she's
dead.
It'd be a good
excuse to bring in the fall. I was gonna say it'd be a good excuse to bring in Cal Kestis and his group that travels with the Night Sister. That's still
sure. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's another one too. We could definitely get a Night Sister war in the Dave Filoni film or in Ahsoka season 2 if it ends up by being a season 2 and however that goes. That'd be kind of fun. I mean, it'd be fun to see some of these characters return again. But then again, have we done more to death at this point?
That's what we think it is, huh? Just a zombie army.
I think so. I think it's very likely it's a zombie army.
Yeah. There's also, there's a possibility that they're actually Night Sisters, that they're actually... there's a couple of choices. One, they could be like other troops from Thrawn's, troops. I don't know that either. The other one that could be it could be Zephyro, which is actually part of the game, and they could be collecting bodies down in the catacombs. So we don't know what the Night Sisters are.
Oh, Zepho?
Zepho, yeah. So it's a possibility.
I want to do live action Zepho. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, they'd be dead, like undead, but who knows? There's definitely something that the Night Sisters are going to, or the Night Mothers are going to be raising, I'm guessing. So that's my thought. That's maybe we'll see some of that. Maybe we won't see some of that this week's episode. It's hard to tell. We'll see. I'm enjoying the connection with Hugh Yang and Ahsoka. I'm loving the friendly, fun banter that Star Wars does so well, as well.
Yeah, he sounds like he's getting fed up with her shit.
A little bit.
Come on, he's a 25,000-year-old droid. He's been around the block.
He's like, I miss a stoic.
Yeah,
Ahsoka, because she was more a robot then, and now I have to deal with this.
No, but I'm enjoying the banter. I'm enjoying the fun, and that's the thing that was missing from shows like Andor for me. Was that banter, that kind of silly fun wasn't always there. We even got it in Rogue One. You got the friendly banter coming between Cassian and K2, but Andor kind of drained a little bit of that out for me, and I think that's what I was missing a great deal of from Andor. We'll see what season 2 is like there. Shin and Baylan, their journey continues. We're getting bits and pieces from Baylan bit by bit. Any thoughts as to what Baylan's
what is he goal? What's his deal? What's he doing? Anyone know what he's
I think his whole deal is he's training her. I think this is just another step in the training.
But what he's searching for, I think he seemed like he was ready to let her go.
He just wants to set up.
That was the end of her. Yeah, it was a setup.
He just wants to set up camp. Escape to wilderness. Go do some fly fishing. Like he's just done to put down the saber and just live off the land.
No, he's got some big plans, and the most obvious one is that he's looking for the world between worlds kind of thing, and they've kind of introduced it and all that. But
for what? Does he think he could bring the Jedi Order back, or is he trying to?
I'm kind of questioning, does he even know about that? Because all that information of the world between worlds was really Rebels, and that was post the time he was in the Jedi Order. He'd probably have so I don't know how the world between worlds would even connect, even though it's the most obvious one right now. What else is out there that he could be searching for?
He seems to have experienced some trauma from Order 66.
Yeah.
So there could be something that, I don't know, by going into a world between worlds, you could alter the timeline in some way.
But I'm going on the reference of what is it. How would he know about it? Is the main thing. It's not exactly a common knowledge.
It's not common knowledge, right?
Even in the Jedi temples, it's not common knowledge. I mean, the only other common knowledge things that are from the Jedi Temple would be, oh no, actually, even that wouldn't be. See, I was thinking at one point maybe it's like Force Ghost, learning. There's this whole element there about the Force Ghost and becoming a Force Ghost, but that wasn't brought in until Revenge of the Sith because it was Qui-Gon Jinn who first reached that level of ascension, and you'd also have to die at that point too. So I don't know if he's looking at making.
What if he's just trying to kill Thrawn? What if he's trying to, stop the incoming war, and he genuinely believes he's going to be on the right side of history?
But he hasn't. I don't know. It doesn't seem that direction either. I mean,
it sounds noble.
That's what I mean. Don't you think he thinks of himself as kind of a noble guy? But I think he's also so pompous. He thinks only he could end the war.
Could be thinking about the power of the Zildjian.
Because he's not
I don't know.
Because he's not a Sith.
Yeah.
He's still there's still some good in there, or.
Yeah, he hasn't gone fully dark side. He's just looking for another way, and it's like I'm trying to figure out what that could be, and point it out. I mean,
we have one episode left, and the actor has sadly passed away. So I sincerely hope they flesh him out in this last episode.
Sure, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if not, then he's just a weird villain with no direction.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the few times that it feels like whatever he's searching for is going to impact the greater story down the track.
Yeah, he definitely has his own goal. And if he finds it, it could definitely interrupt both Ahsoka and Thrawn's plans.
And two ways are going to happen. They're going to recast, obviously, for that story point, but that also means that whatever the situation is, means that a transformation might be occurred. That's the one thing about Dave Filoni. He's very good at taking, again, an idea or a story about the Force, using our history about how we approach religion or that sort of thing, or spirituality or whatever, and taking it and reforging it into a story around the Force. So we might get a story like that. We might get something completely brand new. The only other thing I could think about was like the Mortis thing is the Mortis story from the sister, the brother, and the father, and that does relate back to the Clone Wars and connect to the Clone Wars as well. But it's like I don't know what he'd be searching for in there either, if it's that story. So I don't know what Baylan Skoll is looking for. I mean, Baylan Skoll, I should say. It's going to be interesting to find that journey, but it's also going to be sad because we know there's going to have to be a change and a recasting to have that story arc go on.
It'd be funny if he's just looking for Ezra the whole time, and he's like, "I promised someone I'd protect you."
Nah, that point has already been and gone. He definitely was like, yeah, I can't wait to find out. It's gonna be interesting.
I do imagine at some point he's gonna be like, "Which way is Dagobah? I think we should just talk to Yoda and figure this whole thing out."
Yeah, Lars continues to impress me. I'm enjoying that character.
Yeah, because no one knows Yoda's dead, huh? So
I mean, who would know?
Oh yeah,
he's lived thousands of years.
Luke's the only one who really knows, right?
You're right.
I don't think he told people.
Luke is the only one who knows who he is in that current
Yeah.
Well, actually, maybe Ahsoka knows he's dead through the Force.
I don't want Ezra to die. I think I'm enjoying. I
don't think Ezra's going to die in his first appearance.
No,
I think
totally.
Well, Anchorman says he hope he doesn't die.
Oh, you mean down the track? I mean, yeah. It's like, what's going to happen? Is he going to?
They're all dead.
Skywalker?
I mean, you heard that in the last Skywalker.
Maybe he goes back to this world and he lives with these little guys, the Ninja Turtles.
Based on how he looks, if he dies, he'll resurrect. So.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. But he would have to learn that skill too, because that's passed on. The idea was that Qui-Gon passed on to Obi-Wan how to...
Brent, no, he doesn't need to. He's Jesus. That was the joke.
Okay,
fair enough. In 3 days, he'll arrive.
Anchorman's asking the real questions.
Oh, which one? Okay. Oh, where's Zeb?
we got a name drop this week.
We did get a name drop of Zeb. Yeah, finally.
They're like, yeah, he's out training people. It's like, Are you telling me he couldn't take a 5-second break to go deal with his best friends coming back to life?
Probably not, because he was training somebody. I'm sure. Yeah,
They better be someone super important. It better be Wedge Antilles' grandson or something.
Here's the thing. They're holding
Actually,
off.
Wedge is still Wedge age at this point.
Yeah, Wedge
right?
would be still Wedge age. He'd be the same age as Luke and everybody. So
That's true, actually.
Yeah, they'd be all young. No, I mean, I again, it's like, is there a season 2? Is it go straight to the movie? Whatever it's going to be, Dave Filoni's going to hold off on making that big reunion. It's the same way he's going to hold off on Ezra getting back to Lothal and going back to his home world to kind of experience that this is what has been created from the destruction of Lothal during the Empire. That's his home world. So,
But he heard everything that happened in like the trilogy through what's her face? She just
Sabine.
like told him Sabine.
Sure, yeah.
He's like, oh, okay,
yeah.
so
yeah.
that's it, huh?
But Sabine also was the one.
Yeah, this dude came in and solved all of our problems.
Yeah.
But we got the entire, like in the end of Rebels, the post edit piece that she talked about. So it was through Sabine's eyes that the entire post story of leading up to the Battle of Endor and everything was all explained too. So it was like, okay, we got a little touch on that. I still want to know what Ezra's deal with Thrawn when he first got stuck there.
I know, right? What happened?
Yeah, how did he and Thrawn interact? What was the situation there?
Because they were trapped together for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. How did Ezra kind of walk away from that situation? And Thrawn obviously, it's obvious that Thrawn did not have any fuel. He had no coaxium to kind of leave the galaxy or leave the solar system or leave anything. So he's kind of
the fact that he was able to like evade Thrawn for how long was this? Like 9 years or something like that.
But I don't think Thrawn even cares. I mean, Thrawn gave the last known location that Ezra was to Sabine. He said, "This is the last known information we have on."
Well, I think that was the whole thing.
And he just doesn't care. Ezra, he doesn't. Yeah.
So he's like, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Jedis are here. Can you just go take care of Ezra? I mean, it's always been on his list. He just hasn't, I guess he just had it on the back burner.
Yeah, but he's also.
You know how many stormtroopers' armor he has to wash before he gets to that laundry list?
He's not washing it. He's like applying gold to the cracks and putting red straps on them and stuff.
Well, that's
he's
the
pretty
Night
busy.
Doing some repairs. Yeah, that's
pretty
the Night
busy
Mothers doing repairs. Thrawn's building.
Plus, he's got to take care of the Night Mothers.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I mean,
I'd like to think that the Night Mothers just love Thrawn so much. How often did he get his cheeks pinched when he got there? He's like, "Oh, look at this blue boy! Oh, I love him."
I mean, they obviously have like
harem
done enough to their galaxy, and they just want out of their galaxy. So it's like Mother Townsend, who was the Night Mother.
But I think Thrawn he'd be so happy to leave Ezra behind there and just he left the galaxy and he
just do that.
He left him there.
Yeah. I mean, Thrawn's been planning 10 years about what he's going to do when he gets back. I mean, okay, so what do you
First stop, In-N-Out.
No, that's okay. So here's my question, Max. Do you think that Thrawn, when he gets back to the galaxy, is going to go to the one place that we did see in the Heir to the Empire books, which would be Mount Tantus, if it still exists from back
I think, they've been teasing that in the Bad Batch for a reason.
That is the technology of the Emperor's, like, everything. That's everything the Emperor had left behind.
If they're going to tie into Thrawn into the new movies, and you're going to have Thrawn be the guy that brings Palpatine back, and then I wouldn't even be surprised if there's a big ironic twist of fate where he brings Palpatine back and Palpatine immediately kills him,
or sends him or exiles him somewhere.
Palpatine's really like Palpatine's kind of like a floating there in space or whatever happened to his lost entity.
That'd be like he's gonna be the beginning of the First Order. Possibly.
Oh yeah, definitely. But you consider the fact he's already got a Shadow Council because we saw them in the end of Mandalorian season 3. We saw the Shadow Council with Captain Paleon and a few other people there talking to Gideon. But we knew that Gideon had his own agenda with trying to make his own Force clones and stuff like that. So obviously, Thrawn will meet up with them, but it seems like everything, all the technology, all the ability of
All
building
of
up
it's
an
there.
army, a physical army outside of these undead warriors that he's got. It seems like he needs more than just a few undead warriors. So it feels like I'm hoping we'll get Mount Tantus. I'm hoping that the Bad Batch season 3 won't kind of destroy that element, because the Bad Batch kind of know that Mount Tantus exists. And Mount Tantus, by the way, Jason, if you remember, was that mountain which they were doing all the experiments on, and the cloning experiments and stuff like that on in the Bad Batch.
It seems like the Bad Batch might be canceled too. I don't think they're making another season of it.
I think they're making season 3. They haven't announced it. They haven't announced it, but
I heard they weren't.
Really?
Somewhere.
Really? I would leave that up to total speculation. I'm pretty sure that season 3 will...
It might be speculation.
I think season 3 will be concluded for sure. They probably recorded it like a year ago, and so it wouldn't surprise me. But I am kind of curious as to how that arc will play into the Thrawn arc, because it is a big Thrawn arc in the books, that he searches and finds the Emperor's hidden stash of weapons and everything. And so it feels like we're going to go to that direction. That'll be the first thing, if I was Thrawn, I'd be going towards, is getting the Emperor's hidden stash and building up my army and everything. So, we'll see. Ezra, we get Ezra. We see a bit of force pushing and stuff like that. We see some kind of cool combat fight sequences.
He's fighting with Tai Chi.
Tai Chi and force pushes. I thought it was kind of cool. It was a cool reunion. It was a cool,
some good fight sequences.
Yeah, some nice fun fight.
We got some good like samurai Kurosawa fight sequences as well.
Yeah. There was a lot going on there. Yeah, with Ahsoka. Yeah, there was some really cool stuff going on. We had a cool little moment there with Shin and Ezra as well.
More like force blocking with the lightsaber, like sequels.
And we've seen it a few times before. Yeah, we've seen it a couple of times now. So it's like,
I like the waves on the lightsabers you see when they do that. That's sick.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
God,
it's like,
that's so cool.
Yeah. You can see where his hand exists on the saber and where everything else is being pushed away.
There's like a concentration of the force coming from where the hands are.
Yeah, there's definitely some thought behind the way they do that. We saw.
Do you think that Shin is going to get left behind? It seems to be leading that way. Like she's going to be left behind with Ahsoka, which is a total Star Wars, Rebels, and Clone Wars vibe of the bad guy being left with the heroes, and then the heroes saying, "Well, I guess we'll save you."
Or I thought you meant that left on that planet. Like
I think she'll be left on the planet. It wouldn't surprise me.
I remember like I said in our reaction, like that is her. She'll be running with the wolves, so she's just back with her own people. Just
I mean, it would,
like a space Mowgli.
Yeah, it would.
Like 90s feral Wolverine.
Yeah. I mean, it may not happen right away, but it would definitely take Ahsoka to be the one who can actually tame, Shin and get her back on, onto the good side of the Force. And Balon's going to be off doing whatever he's going to be doing at this point. It feels like he's isolated himself enough. I'm going to assume that both Balon and Shin will not be on that ship going back to the galaxy.
I think Balon's calling his own Uber and leaving Shin behind.
Maybe.
No, he wants to stay there. I feel like he sees something in that planet that he's feeling, he's just gonna get a trailer.
Well, but he's
probably looking at this is prime real estate. Do you see all this land?
He's kind of said he's looking for something there. It doesn't mean he's going to stay there. I think because he's still got a purpose. His purpose is he wants to change things and make sure we don't repeat the same cycle with Empire and Jedi and Sith and all that. And
we know that he doesn't prevail, so something's going to happen.
Yeah, well, for sure. He definitely doesn't prevail in the future. We gather that. Okay. And then we got to see the live action LAAT gunships, which apparently are not all CG. These are actual live action, fully sized built set pieces.
They fly.
From what I understand. Well, and they fly, yes. Well, the CG is the flying stuff. But the actual physical element of these, I love the design of these ships. I think they're very cool. We saw them in Rebels. We saw them a little bit.
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
But they were cool to see in live action, kind of, finally. Side note, Hot Toys have released the Chopper droid, which I will be getting. I've pre-ordered immediately because who doesn't want a murderous little droid as their
I
12
just
scale
watched a video of
figure?
his total kill count. It's estimated to be about 50,000.
His kill count? Yeah, makes about right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we almost got Xeona
No,
get
most
killed.
of it was when he crashed those ships into each other.
Sure. Yeah. Well, that he also he was used as a weapon to destroy the communication ship in Rebels as well. If you remember when.
Yeah, he's destroyed a lot of gunships.
He's destroyed a lot of ships. Yeah. Exactly. Chopper the war criminal. Come on. I mean, look. He almost went after Xiono.
Oh yeah, he was also going to
This is a
shoot
pretentious
down
court. It
a
kind of
ship
had been
in front
evidence
of-
and the kind of a mere droid. Come on. He went completely freaking nuts.
Well, earlier in the season, he was about to shoot down a ship over the city, and he didn't get why that was a problem.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Even in Ahsoka, he was prepared to shoot down that ship. Yeah.
What the hell is he doing on that count? Is it nepo? Is it nepotism? What got him there?
What's that?
No, this guy. Why is he even on there?
Oh, Xiono? Xiono, mainly because in the future his son is part of the New Resistance. But what got him there? Probably just the bureaucracy. I mean, again, this is a guy who's not seen
He had the
war.
finest green shirt in the land.
Yeah, no, that's it. I think there was a line in there earlier in the season where Hera, someone says, have you even seen battle? Have you ever seen combat? And
yeah, something is like this nepotism that got him there or something.
Yeah, Kaz's father, from Resistance. Yeah,
future nepotism because it's like, well, you're gonna have a son who's on there, so you got to be.
Well, no, I did like the tie that they actually could create a character that they'd already introduced in a previous animated show as a nemesis to and as a foil within the Republic, and as part of the reason why the Republic kind of self-collapse themselves and totally bypass the fact that the First Order.
Well, I think all governments are going to have those counter objectionists that they see everyone going one way and they say, "Well, guys, take a step back. What if we looked at it from my direction?"
Correct.
So it's just another, just a reflection of our this reality.
Yeah, I took it very much as it was like why sometimes you feel like Congress is about to get something done. Sometimes they don't get anything done.
We were seeing it in Andor. I mean, and Mon Mothma's husband, he was a big part of that problem as well. I mean, he's just as much the problem as Xiono is, so...
Well, I mean, I think there are two different sides to the problem, whereas Mon Mothma's husband was very laissez-faire about government and was... he was very he wasn't trying to be malicious. He was just very much ignorant. Whereas Xiono is very much just the objectionist to what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, I think he's ignorant too, though. I mean, he's definitely a massive amount of ignorance in it. And
I would say, it's a different side of ignorance, though.
Yeah. I mean, I still want to see more of... I mean, we're seeing it, obviously, a lot more of the political stuff in Andor, but I don't mind seeing the political stuff in Ahsoka, too, especially...
I do love how all the big name characters can just get around politics by throwing fancy names around. Yeah. Like Hera's like, actually, Leia said it was okay, so we're good.
You're right. Yeah. I mean, there's that. There is that entire thing. There's only so many times that Leia is going to be able to use that kind of card.
I know, but like if Ahsoka was court-martialed, she'd just fold her arms and say Luke Skywalker and walk free.
Sure, but well, I don't know if you know she knows Luke, but. Do you think that was the right direction to have taken Hera? I mean, I think there would have been an interesting character growth if she was kind of kicked out and proven wrong. But then also that wouldn't actually account to.
Yeah, I don't think it would benefit the Star Wars narrative because the whole idea of the rebels is, they're going against their own people their own people. They're going against the government to make the world better. Sure. And I think that's always been Hera's idea. She was a rebel within the rebels at this point. I mean, she was rebelling against her own rebellion, which was just I thought it was a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek on that play. I don't think it would be enough to kick her out. I think it would just be them giving her a pat on the back once they win.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it kind of needs to be some conflict with her, and I think that helps with their character and like the
So
situation and
so
state.
by keeping her in the game and not putting her on the sidelines out of this.
Well, if she played the game
exactly.
fairly, she'd just be on the sidelines. Yeah, so she's got to rebel against that. Be your
there
rebel
needs to
self.
be there needs to be some pushback on what she's trying to do. You know, just like extra conflict will help. You know, it's just storytelling. You know?
Yeah,
but she has the right characters on her side to show that she's not going to get kicked out of their whole bureaucracy system.
Because there's always there's always kind of like the bureaucrats always being like, no, you can't do that. That's just not how we do things. And you know, they just need a told you so moment. You know, that's just good storytelling with adventures.
Looking ahead into this week's episode, do we think we're going to see any B story around the Hera storyline, or do we think we're kind of closed it off in this episode?
I don't know. I was really hoping the season was going to play out a little differently. It just feels so open when I feel like I just don't know how they can resolve all these different plot lines in one episode.
I think I don't think they're going to. I think it is a to be continued, like Rebels always was. It was like, I feel like Thrawn is going to get back to the galaxy, and that'll be the beginning of the next season. I feel like that we're going to have some characters trapped in this galaxy, unless they all hitch a ride on.
I know, but what Star Wars keeps doing, they'll have a big cliffhanger, then solve it the first episode of the next season and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe if Balon and Shin are left there, is whatever Balon's searching for going to get him back to the galaxy? Are we going to go with the trope idea that it's going to be the space whales that are going to take them back? I mean, it seems we've got options on the table, but Dave Filoni usually likes to throw the regular options out the door and give us something a little fresh and a little new. So, I'd be curious to see how this all plays out. I don't know. It's going to be a fun season finale for me. I'm enjoying it.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Apart from that, guys, I don't have much else. Any other thoughts on the episode 7 of Ahsoka?
No, just they really nailed the Kurosawa vibes.
Yep.
Like I said, on the nose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just like, I'm just excited to see what happens. Yeah. It's just zombies, though. I'm with
it.
I'm with it because we've been accustomed to it in the Clone Wars, I guess. But in a sense of,
but as far as like making sense in the Star Wars world,
they already exist.
I know, but like, are they a tactical advantage?
Oh yeah, you have an unlimited army.
Yeah, an unlimited army that can get back up and move and continue to fight.
You're moving the wheels of history through the dead. You're making them repeat their same fight over and over again, even after they die. I mean, it's kind of like a big kind of metaphorical moment for these dead soldiers, keeping forcing them.
In the sense of mythology,
actually, yeah, when you put it in that way, Max, that's kind of compelling.
Yeah, because it's a reoccurring theme in mythology. It's a reoccurring theme in our mythology.
Well, I understand it's like reoccurring theme, but as far as like a tactical advantage in a place with space fights and lasers and like Death Stars,
it's giving us something different that we really.
It's just I do get what you mean.
It's like bringing a broadsword to modern warfare. Or something,
right? No, totally.
Like a flaming.
Someone did that in World War II. He was pretty successful.
And is that going to be
modern warfare with like it's like this flaming sword? Yeah. It's like amazing on the battlefield, but a drone, not to a drone.
I mean, that's fair.
Like that's what I mean. They did like this like a suit of armor in like Iraq.
They did this.
It may be powerful in the medieval times, but we have spaceships and we can blow up whole planets.
And that was the thing. Buffy did that so well. Buffy the Vampire Slayer did this creature that came back,
perfect.
And he comes back and he's the most powerful being, and nothing can destroy him. But not to a bazooka in this day and age, kind of thing. Yeah,
but that's what I mean. Like that's what I'm talking about.
Yes, yeah.
So totally. Like. Yeah. I mean, this doesn't seem to be the end-all threat that could be happening or something.
But no, it's not a universe-ending threat. It's just it's just a metaphorical idea of Thrawn continuing the cycle of oppression through the dead.
Sure, yeah. But here's the thing also.
It's compelling, like conceptually compelling, yes. But as far as tactical advantage, I don't see that.
Thrawn is going to have to protect galaxy out of his Night Mothers, because the moment they get taken out, his entire army is down for the count. His undead army of, Night Sisters or whatever it's going to be that they're going to pull out of the box.
They're the exhaust port to this super weapon.
No, totally, yeah. So, I mean, that is going to be the target for Luke Skywalker and Ahsoka and any other, and whether it's going to be in season 2, if there is a season 2, or whether it's going to be in the Dave Filoni feature film, it's all going to come to that exhausting point of they are going to be around until that point in time. Hey, hello, Gigi.
I must say the Night Sisters look great. They look like they come right out of a Tool music video.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
They are awesome.
Live action.
I didn't realize actress Claudia Black, she was one of the Night Sisters until I saw her on the name in the credits, and Night Mothers, I should say. And she's like from Farscape and Stargate SG-1. She appears in the later episodes. She's a great actress. She's a lot of fun. Anyway, guys, I think we're going to kind of end this here. We will be doing our reaction to episode 8 of Ahsoka and dropping it on Tuesday. We will be then on Jason's channel on Wednesday evening and just talking about AI stuff and whatever comes along kind of news. So, Max, Jason, guys, thanks a lot for joining us today. To the audience out there, thank you everyone who is watching live. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe if you enjoy what we are talking about. And check out our reaction to Ahsoka season finale on Tuesday. Thanks, guys.